Everybody, welcome to the MAR10 Marathon, or Mario, Mario Marathon here. I'm the Haxter. I'm doing comms for the Super Mario Bros. 3 warpless race we got going on here between jknott 05, Lane Rayner, and Stewie Cartman. These are all three really good runners of this game. In fact, they are not separated by a whole lot of leaderboards. We have jknott with the top time at a 51:12. Then Lane at a 51:24, and then Stewie with a 51:33. So within the amount of time where it's going to be a really interesting race. I'm really excited to see this, so I hope you all are as well. So yeah, we can get started here whenever racers are ready to get going. And yeah, so warpless category, what does that mean? Well, we will not be using warp whistles. Very important, or wrong warping, of course. There is a notorious wrong warp in the game, so both of those things are not allowed. However, you're going to see the racers collect a warp whistle in one of the levels because it's a quicker way of beating the level. And then one of the challenges of the game after that is to not accidentally utilize that when it's in your inventory. So that's always a fun thing to worry about in a race where you only get one shot at it. But yeah, we may potentially see a bit of route divergence in the game as well. There are hammer bros. They kind of move around randomly throughout the game. And you know, the items, there are certain items that you would ideally want that you may not get access to, or may not get access to when you would like. All right, looks like we're getting started here. So starting off in 1-1. Everybody opting to do the turnback strat. Lane getting late P-speed there was a little sketchy, but did not hit the plant. So all's well that ends well there. And everybody's out of the level. So no one opting for the pipe rub strat for a little bit of safety. Interesting. It did work out, though. All right, moving on to 1-2. So there's an early P-speed, which Stewie just got and executed perfectly there. And actually, all three of them got. Lane, unfortunately, jumping a little short there. Shouldn't be a big deal. It does have the backup mushroom he can grab there as well. Is gonna have to slow down a bit because as you can see, he jumped on the flat part, or the slope part of the terrain, so he lost all of his speed there, unfortunately. He can re-grab a mushroom here in the fort at the beginning. Stewie also getting some early P-speed. I believe both went for the waffle jump, it looks like, as well. So unfortunately, JT losing his P-speed by bumping the block here, and is gonna have to take the fly of shame up there. And oh no, okay, so Lane unfortunately is going to grab this mushroom and just continue the level normally versus grabbing the whistle. This is going to lose a bit of time. I guess the upside for him is that he's not going to have to worry about accidentally utilizing that warp whistle like I was talking about at the outset. So pretty good. But yeah, Stewie having a really clean start to the race here. Really, really well done. I don't think he's made a single mistake to this point. So, which has allowed him to take the lead over JT, who made the minor mistake. It's about an 8-second time loss, roughly, when you don't get the fly up. And a very scary stage here, as you can see, with Stewie, you know, doing the trust jumps here. Off the enemy on the platforms you can't see. So I guarantee you, while this is a stage you probably don't really ever think about when you're running the game normally, it's a little more nerve-wracking in a race setting because you don't want to take a death there, put yourself behind the 8-ball really early. So, and just like that, Stewie is now in the airship, and JT will not be far behind. And then we have Lane here in 1-6. Still plenty of you know, despite the fact Lane's behind, he's not that far behind at the end of the day. There's still plenty of things that could happen throughout the course of this run that can really shift things around. So Mario 3, particularly in this category, is a heavily RNG influenced game. So, you know, even if you play great, there's no guarantee you're going to win or even put up like a great time at the end of the day. So, It's yeah, it's kind of a brutal game in that way. Yeah, we're on the airship here, so they're all gonna go for fire kill patterns here on this airship. For the boss, they all will know what the boss is doing because the pattern is determined from the time that you complete the previous level to the time you enter the boss lair on the airship. So I believe all of them entering the bro fight after 1-6 into the boss fight, they're going to get a pretty decent fire kill pattern. As you can see, JT and Stewie knowing exactly what they have to do here, executing that perfectly right there. And Lane's going to get his chance here shortly. So yeah, nice thing about Mario 3 too is, you know, between a lot of these levels, you get some nice breathers as a runner. So it's not go, go, go all the time. You know, the levels themselves when you play them are pretty short, and then there's a decent amount of waiting between them to kind of mentally prepare yourself to an extent. So, all right, so we're going into 2-1 here. This is the sand world here, and Stewie doing a great job getting an early P speed. JT gonna actually take out all of those micro Goombas there and save a few frames there in terms of lag frames. So you end up with a bit of a sprite overload if you don't take out those enemies. So gonna save a few frames there. You know, always nice to see the frames saved. And 2-2, one of the few levels in the run where you're not really gonna see P speed until the very end here. The slide speed is actually quicker than P speed, slightly. It's it's like, I don't know, what is it, like 15% faster roughly. However, to maintain that speed, you have to be able to jump on the first frame each time you land, and that's really hard to do. You know, each frame that you contact the ground, you lose more and more slide speed. So that's why you see people opt to go for P speed in most cases. That being exception of, you know, this level, getting the P speed is really difficult. So most people just slide. And we see a slight miscue from Stewie here at the beginning of the fort. It's kind of tough to get that early P speed here. I believe both of them. No, it looks like JT did get it. It's a common mistake, unfortunately. Stewie missing his jump a little bit there and running into the enemy. So fire's not super important in this world. He'll be able to grab another one in the airship, but there are worlds later on where it's quite a bit more punishing to lose fire. He does lose about 3 seconds on the boss fight there on the Boom Boom. So that is unfortunate, but does maintain his lead here as a result of his earlier good play. So, and yeah, both going for the green rocket strat here in 2-3. Really cool strat there that saves. It's the ideal strat to execute in this level, and we'll see Lane here do it as well for the third person to do it. And it's really cool. As it's called the green rocket because you have P speed and you throw the shell and it moves so much faster as a result of that. As you can see, it's really just going through that block pyramid, no problem. All right, so in the meantime, the other two just finishing up the Angry Sun stage here, and we'll probably see some route divergence here, some choices between 2-4 and 2-5, and it's dependent on where this hammer bro is, because they need that bro. It has a hammer, and so every runner here in this race is going to go for it. It looks like Stewie is probably going to end up fighting both the hammer bros. I know JT had already fought the music box because I think it moved into him and kind of forced him to fight it. But we see Lane actually getting to skip the music box, so it looks like that's going to be a fortunate turn of events for Lane. So he's going to save a bit of time here. Getting the music box in this world isn't the worst thing because they're going to need one later on, but it is a rather slow hammer bro because you have to wait for the boomerang to disappear in order for the chest to spawn. So this is the worst hammer bro to fight. It's the slowest. Yeah. And meanwhile, we've got a very technical stage here. in the pyramid. Stewie having a little trouble at the end there, and as a result, JT takes the lead, trying to go for the old butt bump back slightly faster than doing the loop around, which a lot of runners choose to do as well, but it's not, there's not a huge amount of difference between the two. As we can see, Lane doing the loop around strat there. The easier way of doing it, I would say. Why is the sun so dang pissed? That's a great question. I would imagine it has something to do with Mario running through his kingdom and just, taking out all the residents of the kingdom, probably. It wouldn't make me particularly happy if Mario was doing that in my kingdom, but, that's just a theory I have. Meanwhile, we get another airship here. As I mentioned in the World 1 airship, you can determine the boss pattern. It's the same in this one. Stewie, unfortunately, gonna have to stomp the boss here because he doesn't have fire, so he's gonna lose a little bit of time there, but it's no more than, it's not quite 3 seconds that he's gonna lose here. Well, actually for this one, it might be 3 seconds because the boss kind of starts in an awkward spot to stomp him. So he actually gets the high ground here, as you can see, but yeah, fire, it's really nice when he has that because it makes the fire kill really straightforward like JT got there. And yeah, as you can see, Stewie stomping it there, losing a little bit additional time. Like I said, you kind of have to wait for that boss to do what he's going to do there, come down or jump over. Because if you challenge him, he might do something you don't expect, particularly if you're not in a power-up state you normally are. But yeah, JT and Lane getting some nice fire kills there. As you can see, Lane picking up a good amount of time here just by skipping that hammer bro. So, assuming the RNG plays out for him from this point, that's a pretty nice pickup. All right, so going in the 3-1 here. This is probably the easiest level in the run, I would say. What they're doing here is the optimal strat. So he's going to do something cool to get P-Speed at the top here. He's going to come down, grab this Fire Flower, and then maintain his P-Speed out of the water there. So that's a really nice backup flower grab, and one of the quicker ones in the game as a result. So really cool to see that. And meanwhile, JT moving into 3-2, which has a really difficult P-Speed strat at the beginning that he unfortunately didn't get here, but this is one that, is on the more common side to miss. And looks like Stewie's going to get it here. So Stewie's going to pick up some time, which he needs at this point, and we'll see if Lane can also pick up some time on JT here. Oh, unfortunately, not going to pick up time on Lane, but... hopefully no fish jump through him. That's always the hope here. Unfortunately, the fish can do that to you in this stage and are notorious for doing it, so. All right, so 3-3. I would say a deceptively hard stage. All these jumps are the same that you do here, but as you can see, the level kind of scrolls up and down, so if you're getting to spots at a timing you don't expect, it kind of changes how you have to jump, so... but all three runners doing a great job here, making it through. Looks like JT is not going for door 3, which is a nice little shortcut to the end of the level here, but does lose you quite a bit of time if you miss it. We'll see if Stewie's going to go for it, and Stewie also not going for door 3. Very unlike Stewie in a marathon setting like this to not go for door 3. So I'm assuming we're going to see no door 3 here. They probably have talked about this in advance. And yeah, you can see Stewie apologizing for not going for door 3, but I do not blame him. I would not go for door 3. No, I'm trying to win. Stewie's trying to win. It's a big deal. So he's about half a stage behind right now. So I think that's a good choice. And oh, we see Lane accidentally creating a coin chip. That is not great. So yeah, unfortunately for him, that was also the hammer that ideally he wants to pick up. So a bit of a mistake here. And how that works is if the tens digit of your point total matches the multiple of 11 of your coins, so let's say you had 70 points at the end and you had 77 coins, that will spawn a coin ship in worlds 3, 5, 6, and 6. 1, 3, 5, and 6, sorry. 1 as well. It's kind of rare in 1 for different reasons, but yeah, unfortunately, Lane gonna have to skip that bro, and now, as a result, play an extra level in World 4. If he's able to skip this other hammer bro here, it's not that big of a deal. He'll only lose maybe like 5 seconds if he plays that extra level well. But unfortunately, the extra level he has to play is one of the toughest in the game to execute perfectly. So there is definitely a downside to that. There's a few more downsides too, like it's really hard to get ideal RNG in World 4 when you do that, because there's a cloud at the beginning of the world you want to pick up. You know, I say this as they do a really cool strat here in 3-9, jumping over the H. Looks like Stewie had maybe a little bit of trouble with it, but yeah, anyway. We may see him have some trouble with the hammer bro at the beginning and picking it up that they all want to pick up, so. With that being said, right now it looks like a very close race. Now, keep in mind, as I said, Lane's going to have to play an extra level in World 4. So, it looks like he has a slight lead at the moment, but technically he is a stage behind. And yeah, we have another airship here. All have fire, which is super important for this boss. This is the worst boss in the entire game, the Stomp Kill. And the reason why is Wendy likes to shoot rings out of her wand, and those rings remain in the arena for the duration of the fight, and she shoots up to 3. There are ways of stomping her that make it so she can't add additional rings to the arena, but if you fire kill her, she doesn't ever shoot rings in the arena. And the nice thing is she always does the same thing, really, at the start of the fight. So the fire kill doesn't change regardless of how much time's passed here. So, so yeah, we'll probably see 3 nice fire kills here. It's one of the easier fire kills to get to, although JT doing it in a way that is a little bit quicker than the normal way of doing it there, but more risky because he is stomping it. And yeah, Stewie doing it the more standard way there. All really, really great kills there from the 3 of them. So. All right. So unfortunately, this letter is the worst letter in the game. It's going to give them a music box here. It is useful in the run, but there are definitely more useful items you could get. Not that we're going to see the item the letter gives, because they're mashing A to get out of that screen as quickly as possible. All right, so you can see that hammer bro I was talking about there. That one has the cloud that they're going to want to pick up to allow them to skip stages later, or a stage later. JT getting some P speed, losing it, and then getting it back there, whereas Lane with the beautiful execution of the P speed there, so picks up a bit of time there. Stewie, unfortunately, it is a tight P speed, not quite getting it there, so is going to lose a bit of time there. But the bigger loss for him really is the fire flower. He's not going to be able to pick that up again until the end of this world, so kind of an unfortunate turn of events there. And it's, yeah, unfortunately, losing it in World 4, World 5 is it's one of the worst mistakes in the run you can make, just in terms of a time loss for power-up loss. So, but thankfully, if he does the new route in World 5, it's not going to be that big of a deal at the end of the day. All right, so 4-3 here. Most people's favorite level, because it looks really cool to run. You're dodging all these enemies. This looks really difficult. This run through is probably easier than it looks. And oh no! Okay, Stewie took some damage there at the beginning, and unfortunately, it kind of changes your jumps a bit and how you get P speed. So not great. And as we can see, Lane playing the fort here that the other two will be able to skip using the hammer. But Lane with the... Oh, I was going to say perfect execution, and then, of course, the worst mistake that you can make in the stage, the one that he's not going to be happy about, is just bumping that ceiling there, trying to jump out. You know, it's one of those you're like, man, I did all the hard parts correctly, and I got screwed over by that. But does get some fortunate RNG here from that bro, and is able to pick up the cloud, so he's only going to have about, let's see, one stage difference between him and JT. Meanwhile, Stewie also playing the fort. I guess Stewie must have skipped the bros in World 3 as well. I kind of missed that. So, unfortunately for Lane and Stewie, they're losing that extra stage here. And Lane with the heads-up play there, knowing that the Lakitu was going to throw the Spiny down at him, having made the mistakes he made in that level many times. You know, making the right move there. And Stewie unfortunately taking some damage, so this makes this level quite a bit longer, unfortunately, when you're not able to go over the top, but does get the power up instead. Oh, Lane taking some damage, so he's trying to get the old mushroom back, and then he's going to take the star route here at the end of 4-6, and this makes this ending the 4-6 nice and safe, so not a bad choice versus playing it small. Meanwhile, JT just kind of smashing through the world, and something really cool happened there, so he absolutely wanted to skip that hammer bro, and if you press a direction on the first frame possible after a screen scroll, you're able to skip the hammer bro. Now, the thing is about that sounds really impressive, right? Well, in Mario 3, as the screen is scrolling, you can actually hold a direction to buffer the directional input and instantly move on the first frame possible. So just a heads up piece of tech there, knowing that and executing that, you know, still really important to just utilize that knowledge as he did there and skip that hammer bro. He didn't want to fight. And yeah, as you can see, you know, Stewie unfortunately having to pick up 2 extra here at the end of the world. So, you know, JT extending a bit of a lead here, and it looks like Lane picked up the P-Wing at the end of the world. So probably not going to opt for the 5-1 P-Wing route. So I think we're going to see some route divergence from the 3 runners here. The route that JT is doing basically removes a lot of RNG from the run by allowing him to skip the maximum number of hammer bros possible and guaranteeing that. However, he is going to have to do 2 things, potentially, that the other runners are likely not going to have to do. He's going to have to do a wall jump in 6-9, which, you know, it is a 1 or 2 frame jump that you have to do on top of having the correct subpixel setup. So he could get unlucky there and lose a bunch of time. And then the other thing is he's going to have to clip 7-6, which there is a manipulation for in the previous level that he can do to guarantee at least the first attempt will work. However, the jump to get into the wall is frame perfect as well. So it's not the easiest route to go for, particularly in a race setting, but it's big risk, big reward here. And yeah, this is the slowest moving airship in the game. It's not the longest. World 7-1 is actually longer, but that's because it's much larger. It moves at a normal speed. This one, for some reason, moves at half speed. So, and yeah, this one's kind of a noob trap too. You know, it has all these flamethrowers everywhere. You know, particularly this section at the end, if you don't do it the way they do there, where you jump over everything, look at how terrible this is. It's like that. Oh, it's so hard to make it through there without taking damage, you know, especially if you're a casual just player of the game. And Lane getting a weird boss pattern here, unfortunately going to take some damage, and this boss is notorious for jumping through people. Thankfully, not jump through lane there. Meanwhile, I guess I was wrong. JT is not going to go for the P-Wing route. I thought he was going to do it because I saw him practicing earlier, but he may have changed his mind as a result of where the race is currently. So that might have been something he was going to determine, you know, if he was behind, he might have gone for it instead to try to save some time. So being that he's got a pretty solid lead at the moment, I don't really blame him for foregoing that. Meanwhile, Lane, having taken damage, is now going to go for this, but he does have the extra P-Wing, so he's not. He can either choose to not go for the wall jump, or he can choose to not go for the clip in 7-6. So, not the worst decision for him to do this here. Did need, or no? I think he. Okay, so I know what he's going to do. He's going to try to skip the music box in the sky here in World 5 because he has all the music boxes he needs now. Meanwhile, JT clean up the fort in the bottom there. One of the scarier levels in the run, I would say. And the reason I say that is we'll see it again here shortly when Lane enters it, but there's this pool of lava at the beginning of the stage, and it's really easy to miss an input on one of the blocks that you land on and fall right into it. So it's definitely one of the stages that you know, makes me the most nervous in a setting like this where you only get one shot at it. So Lane making a great decision there to music box before entering the stage. It's a really small thing here, but it's going to ensure that the Hammer Bros don't move after completing the stage. And the Hammer Bros here are notorious for really long movements. So heads up play using it before versus after, because this tower that we're seeing JT expertly navigate here isn't actually a level. It's a pipe transition, and it's counted as such in the game. And so the Hammer Bros don't move after completion of pipe transitions. So if you music box them after the fort, they'll wake up by the time you hit the sky, play the first stage. So. And 5-4 there, one of those stages that looks really scary, but you know, is surprisingly consistent. It is easy to take a death there, but you know, it's not a particularly hard stage to execute. Versus 5-5 here, this one, the donuts, getting the early P speed there, very impressive, very hard to do from JT. Meanwhile, Lane having a fantastic tower as well. It was pretty much picture perfect. 280 into the pipe at the end is like, you know, kind of where you want to be. So, and yeah, as you can see, the jump's real centered there for Lane. Makes it through no problem. He will have the opportunity to pick his Fire Flower back up here in 5-7, which JT is now completing. And we'll see Stewie's attempt through the tower here. Looking good so far. Maintaining the P speed through the tower, which is what you want to see. 288 in the pipe, should be 286. Oh, I jinxed it. Okay. Where's the up input? So he's going to get a 279 here, which is, you know, good enough. Oh, never. Okay, 277. Well, you know, up pipes are a thing in the game. The fortress that JT is finishing up now, there's a notorious clip in this stage that allows you to skip most of it. Saves about 3.5 seconds, but unfortunately it's in the first room there, which is a lava pit, and so if you miss it, you die. And clips in this game are subpixel dependent as well as execution dependent. So yeah, if you make a mistake, it won't work, and if you don't have the right subpixel setup, it won't work. So not an ideal thing to go for in this run, but you know, sometimes people do go for it, maybe in attempts if the run's not going great to this point, but I don't think we're going to see it here from anybody. Fort here, again, one of those levels that looks scarier than it is. It's a really consistent level. It's just, you know, you don't want to press A too early or too late anywhere for sure. All right, so yeah, Stewie having a great 5-7 here. And meanwhile, Lane, I don't think he needed this music box. So I think this is a bit of a mistake, but this could be... I don't think he was planning to P-Wing 5-1 either. So we'll have to take a peek at his inventory the next time he opens it, which will be at the beginning of World... or no, actually, it'll be after this stage. So I am curious to see, but I think he already had one in his inventory. So he actually didn't need to fight that bro. Meanwhile, Stewie cleaning up the fort here. You can see Stewie taking some easier platforms, I would say. And oh, I missed it. Whether Lane has the music box or not. That's okay. We'll get to see it at the beginning of World 6. And you see JT waited a bit before entering the pipe there. That's to manipulate this boss pattern to give you a nice fire kill pattern. So heads up from him, understanding, okay, the bros moved in a particular way prior to entering the stage, and this is how I account for that. So you can kind of use the screen scroll at the end of the stage to manipulate when you enter the pipe there. She did really well. So, and yeah, Stewie using the cloud there has the potential to do the same thing. Now I noticed, I think he mismenued a little bit there, unfortunately. So it could change what he's getting, but the manipulation really gives you an easy pattern. So I think even if you're a little late, or a little later than normal, it really doesn't make much of a difference. And yeah, as you can see, use a hammer at the beginning of World 6 here, skip 2 stages at the beginning there, and then you get a hammer back that they're going to use later on here. So, and 6F1 here, kind of a cool stage because you get to damage boost and get rid of that flower you've had for a while. Grab a star here, maintain your P speed, hopefully. Didn't miss the door, that's good. And make it in time to the boom boom to instantly take out the boom and spawn the orb. So well done from JT there. And they're not going to need that fire flower because they're about to P-Wing at 6-5 here anyway. So really good usage of power-up situation there. And JT going for some early P speed at the beginning there. Unfortunately, it is both frame dependent and subpixel dependent, and the frame you jump on changes based on your subpixel value. So it looked like the jump he did would have worked, but he probably had a bad subpixel for the particular jump he did. So, and oh, Lane spawning a coin ship at the beginning of World 6. I missed this, so I guess he had 33 coins or something at the end of World 5, and yeah, unfortunately, or he had 33 and then a 3 in the tens digit. That does guarantee a coin ship at the beginning of World 6 here. Alright, meanwhile, Stewie getting his first bro fight. JT getting the cloud here, picking up the bro he wants. Don't want to fight this other hammer bro. He's unfortunately gonna have to do it. It does have an item that doesn't help in the run at all, a star, but no, not the biggest deal there. It is it's only about a 7 or 8 second time loss because normally that bro would still be alive and be moving at the end of each stage, and now that won't happen for the rest of the world. So there are definitely worse time losses there. But yeah, using the tail that he kept from 6-5, from using that P-Wing to make his way through 6F2 and fly through this stage without problem here. Meanwhile, Stewie and Lane both finishing up 6F1, using the star kill to great effect there. And let's see, JT going to get some P speed. Is he going to get the second H? You have 2 H's, very nice. And he does have the extra P-Wing, I believe, so he's going to use it in right? He does have enough P-Wings, so I think he's going to use one in 6-9 here. Fly over the stage. Yep. There it is. So yeah, make 6-9 nice and easy. Isn't going to have to worry about wall jumping or anything. Meanwhile, Lane and Stewie both in 6-5 here. Oh, Stewie, no! You do not want to see that. So unfortunately, taking the hit there is going to have to go get this leaf and then run back and fly back up here. So that is unfortunate. Definitely lost some speed there. But he should be able to fly up here, use the shell, make it to the end of the stage. Meanwhile, I think Lane's skipping the star, bro, so getting a little bit of good luck there, but looks like he took some damage. Must have been at the end of 6-5. I kind of missed that, so he's going to have to grab the backup leaf there, which isn't a big deal. He'll still net some time over JT, but JT's cruising at this point. Hasn't made too many mistakes throughout the course of this run. I think if we go back and I think about what's gone on from JT's side throughout the course of the run, I think the only two mistakes he made were not getting the flight in 1-4, so that was about 8 seconds worth of time loss, and then he didn't get P speed in 3-2, which I think costs around 4-ish seconds or so over, you know, getting it. So because he attempted to go for it too. So not a bad run here coming out from JT. Really nice run so far. So yeah, definitely not no shame in the other two being behind when someone's playing so well. Meanwhile, we see Lane playing 6-10 here in the race, so he's gonna choose to use his P-Wing, and yeah, that was a really nice fire grab there. Beautiful from Lane, able to keep the P speed, and keep it through the end of the stage there. Really cool route divergence. So he is going to use that extra P-Wing he has for 7-6, and I don't blame him for that. The clip can definitely be annoying. Meanwhile, see from Stewie's side, flying over 6-9 as well, and unfortunately for Lane, he did not want to take damage there. He did want to keep that fire flower. Would have saved 3 seconds on the boom boom here, and another 3 seconds potentially on the boss kill. So a bit of a minor mistake there. Meanwhile, JT is making his way to World 7 here. And there is a sub-pixel manipulation at the end of that airship. So the clip here at this first stage is sub-pixel dependent. So we'll see if he was able to move in such a way that gives him a guaranteed sub-pixel. And looks like he must have made a mistake in his manipulation, or he manipulates for a duck clip, because he did go for a duck clip, but he did get it second try there. It's really good. Meanwhile, for Stewie, I think Stewie tends to do a standing. I think Stewie and Lane tend to do the standing one, so we'll see. Meanwhile, we've got JT opting to equip the star. He did get the extra star as well. And then he also didn't use one in 5-7 because he did the standard route. So he's got plenty of stars here, so might as well utilize them. Use the star strat here in 7-2. There is a faster way of doing it where he could have grabbed the fire flower and not done the back and forth to get P speed, but it is significantly riskier. So I'm kind of hedging on his bets here. He's having a great run. Wants to continue the great run. Should be, you know, clearly 51 pace to this point. So, meanwhile, 7-3 here. Really one of the easier stages in the game as well. No one's ever died on it ever, for sure. But yeah, you just kind of get P speed at the beginning, and the jumps are, you know, fairly standard there. It's kind of a nice breather here in World 7 usually for most folks. So, and then we're going to see him utilize one of his P-Wings here. for the fortress here, which allows him to beat the fortress really quickly. There is a room in this fortress where you can get a Tanuki suit, which is the intended way of completing it, of course. But you know, utilizing the power-ups that we have, let's utilize this tail and save a bunch of time. As you can see, this is a very quick level. So, and we'll see Lane's attempt, and that was really cool. Okay, I believe the pump or the pipe bump, the pipe bump was intentional there. Based on the subpixel value he had to do that to manipulate it, and then he got the clip first try, so that was beautiful. And Stewie doing the same thing here. Unfortunately, it looked like Stewie jumped a frame late, is what it looked like from my side of things. So at least a frame late. So yeah, unfortunately, the clips are also frame perfect there. Meanwhile, we have JT going in the 7-8 here, and I think we're going to see the hammer suit. I'm thinking we're seeing the hammer suit from everybody here. It's what we usually see, and sure enough, we're going into the secret here. We're getting the hammer suit, utilizing that tail to great effect at the beginning of 7-8 here. And unfortunately, not getting P-speed there, but really heads-up play from JT, knowing he doesn't have P-speed at the end, is potentially going to have to tank some fireballs, utilizing the tech of the hammer suit. So when you duck in the hammer suit, you cannot be hit by fireballs. And is going for clips in 7-9. And he gets the first try. He should just bail, but he's going to go for 3. Okay. He is going to go for the mid clip. And he gets the mid clip. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he saved a ton of time actually playing the stage here. I don't think he was expecting to necessarily save time here. I think he was just trying to keep his lead. But yeah, really, really nice 7-9 for JT there. Everything kind of lining up really well for him. He's got to be... I feel like he's got to be close to PB pace. I feel like he's in the mid 51 range after that, but it's hard to tell. I'm not really looking at a timer at the moment, so but it feels like with how he's played, I'm trying to think, he fought one extra hammer bro, and that was in World 6. He technically fought the music box in 2, so that's why I guess he didn't go for the P-Wing round World 5, so I'm trying to think. It's a really great run regardless, but a lot can happen, obviously. We still got hands in World 8, so... Meanwhile, Lane making his way into 7-8 here. Damage boosting the tail off. We're going to see another hammer suit grab here. Lane. Really nicely done. To the boss room. Keeps the P speed. Is he going to keep it through the end here? Keeps it through the end here. Able to jump over the fire nipper. Don't have to worry about it hitting you. Meanwhile, Stewie using the P-Wing in 7-6. The best way to play this level. Well, I mean, the less nerve-wracking way of playing, put it that way. So, and he's going to have his attempt here at 7-8, getting the hammer suit. Meanwhile, Lane taking out everything here in 7F2 with hammers. Oh, unfortunately, going to lose the P-speed there. We'll see if he's made that mistake before, and he definitely has. So, okay. It's getting a little sketchy now. Okay, yeah, slow it down a bit. All right, we're good. We're good. He kept the hammer suit. That's the important part. Listen, if you're going to invest in the hammer suit, like all three of them have, you lose some time here in order to save some time later. So you definitely want to keep it. And yeah, as we see Lane choosing the Cloud 7-9 there, which is kind of the standard route, and Stewie doing the same thing here, using Box and Cloud, and it's kind of, you know, it's a bit risky to do so, because this is a tough stage, and as you can see, it's not, you know, it's not without risks of doing, but they're both going to make it out, looks like, without too much issue anyway. And Yeah, Stewie doing that a bit of a strange way, but it did work out, having a great fort there. Really nicely done. So yeah, you know, clouding the level worked. Unfortunately for them, JT playing the level actually is going to end up saving him time. So, meanwhile, at the beginning of World 8 here, and at the end of World 7, we now get inundated with auto scrollers. So, the messed up thing here is if you get no hands in a warpless run, that means you have played 4 consecutive auto scrollers. And plus the cutscene after the end of the world. So it's a really long time between playing actual stages. And I think that contributes pretty significantly to why you see people sometimes make mistakes towards the end of World 8 is because the reality is in Warpless, I think you go nearly 6 minutes between playing actual Mario. But yeah, I mean, you know, for casual gameplay, these auto scrollers can be somewhat difficult. But for these guys who have done them many times, you know, they know what's going to happen. Doesn't mean, you know, people don't ever make mistakes on them, but you know, they're kind of rare to see for that reason. So, you know, you can see JT just hugging the right side of the screen because he knows exactly what's coming up next and when it's coming, and you know, knows exactly when to time his movements to account for that. He does get a backwards boomerang bro there, so he saves a bit of time, getting a 166 on the end timer there. So has had really good RNG thus far. With all of this being said, I want you all to get your guesses in on how many hands we're going to see from each runner. You know, is JT going to get no hands? Or is it going to be Lane? Or is it going to be Stewie? Or is it going to be none of them? Or are they all getting all 3? I want to know your thoughts. My hope is they all get none. All 3 getting none would be awesome. I don't think I've ever seen that. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, particularly for JT, because he's got a really great run going here. It might not be PB pace, but it's close for sure. I have an extra box for the hands. Right. Wait, are they on a runner's edition? They might be on a runner's edition. Now that I think about it, if he's saying that, unless he's memeing. I didn't realize they were on a runner's edition. Alright. Very nice. Yeah, he's capping. Okay. That's what I thought. Alright, what's JT gonna get here? Oh, come on, dude! Come on! You just need to win one more 50-50. Oh, that's disappointing. Unfortunately, too, the third hand is the slowest of the 3. This one's about 23 seconds long, so the other 2 are right around 20. Hand 2 is a bit shorter than hand 1. But still pretty good. One hand's pretty good, you know. Want to see 0, but you know, if you're doing a race, particularly if you're doing a race of Warpless and you see 1, you feel pretty good about that one. So, it could always be worse, much worse. But yeah, I'm curious what this final time will be. I feel like he's still on 51 pace. He's played exceptionally well so far. And got Lane also. We've got all 3 of them in different auto scrollers here, which is kind of funny. JT, of course, being in the notorious one that moves twice as fast as a normal auto scroller. So we're using the screen scroll there to his advantage. And then we've got Lane with the boat that's in the chocolate water, or You know, I've heard some other less favorable things said about the water, but we'll go with the chocolate milk here. All right, and as I said, 8-1. So you know, really, like, look how long it's been since he's really played a stage, and this is the first one. And you know, you see people make mistakes in this one fairly regularly, and I think that has a lot to do with it. So he's ready for it, though. He's played enough. He takes out 8-1, no problem. We're gonna see 8-2 here. Really cool with the hammer suit. Has the opportunity to take out the sun here. Does get the snipe, so he's not gonna have to worry about that. Really important. And does a great job of maintaining P speed up the slope there. Ooh, Lane, unfortunately, getting caught up a bit in the old block maze there in the first hand. And this is the worst hand to get with the hammer suit for sure. So kind of unfortunate there for him. And he does get hand 2 as well as a reward for losing the hammer suit. So adding insult to injury here is the game, which is kind of its MO. So are we going to get the third hand? That's the question. Can we get all 3? You know, if you're not going to get, you might as well get all 3 at this point. Yeah, I was going to say, so this is Stewie's chance. Can Stewie make, and Stewie immediately gets the first hand. All right, fair enough. The third hand, not the biggest deal for Lane to get here either, because he is able to get that nice fire flower at the end of it. So if Stewie can, and Lane, or Stewie can skip these hands, oh, come on. It would have been a dead heat here going into the fast airship. But as you can see, you know, Mario 3 warpless can be kind of brutal, especially in a race setting. You know, it doesn't necessarily matter what you've done prior to getting it there. And as we can see, JT already really at the end of the game here, because remember, he did play 7-9, which the other 2 did not. So he was able to skip the fortress at the end of this world. So he's really making his way to Bowser here. So yeah, what we had, one person with 1 hand, 1 person with 2 hands, and 1 person with 3 hands. So, and unfortunately for the other 2, the person in the lead is the one that got 1. So, Lane making it through the auto scroller here. Does have the fire flower, which is a bit of a slower kill on Bowser, and it's a bit of a scarier kill too, but not too scary. It's pretty easy. You can kind of get some unfortunate RNG though with the fire flower that makes you unable to get the kill. So there is that, but it's not super common. JT going for the clip there, does not get it. Is going to go for the basement clip now. Interesting. Kind of a victory cigar here, I guess. The basement clip here would save more time, but you have to get it, you know, you have to get within 3 tries to break even for not going for it. So, oh, he actually had it there, and then he backed out, but he gets it to, I don't know, that was what, 7 or 8 tries, so. Yeah, taking the victory cigar, I guess, at the end of the run, so. And hi Bowser, bye Bowser. As you can see, that's why they grabbed the hammer suit. So time will be when JT enters the door here, so it's coming up shortly. And hear the sounds. Time. So GG to JT taking the race here, but it's not over yet. We've got both runners in 8 fort here. Stewie with the hammer suit is going to be able to pick up about 7 seconds in the last stage of the game. So, you know, if something goes wrong on Lane's side, could potentially swoop in for 2nd place here. Oh, Stewie missing the door there. Does he go for the backup? Oh, yeah. So he there is a backup he could have done there where he tries to enter this door as he does here and clip through. Unfortunately, it was too slow, and that was what he would have had to have done in order to one cycle there. But does show off the wall clip slag there. Needed it for 51, 52, 14. Okay. Yeah, I knew he was close, so. Alright. Alright, Stewie on the auto-scroller now as well, so it's a race to the finish here. Get to see a fire kill and a hammer kill. See how much difference there is between the two here. It's looking like 25 to 30 seconds difference, so second place is definitely Lane's lose, and goes for the clip and gets it there. Very nice. Oh, I see. Skip 7F2. I missed that. Okay. Alright. Meanwhile, Lane making it to Bowser. We're going to see the difference in the kills here. So, 35 fireballs is what we need. And as you can see, it takes quite a bit longer versus the hammer suit. And does miss a fireball there, but he got a good Bowser pattern. So, not a big deal. Meanwhile, Stewie also getting the elevator clip there. So, very nice. Gonna come in just short here, but as I said, pick up some time here. Stage. Hopefully. Gets some kind of weird P-speed there. Somehow keeps it. It's a little scary when that happens, because, you know, can miss a jump. And I'm for Stewie as well. And he enters the door here, so... Yeah, GG to everybody. Everybody finished, so that's good. You know, I was worried for Lane in particular. You know, he's not used to finishing these runs out. So, yeah, GG to everybody. GG to JT for taking it, and thanks to all three of them for putting on such a great show for us. They all stream this game as well as, you know, JT and Stewie stream other Mario games regularly as well, so I do encourage you to check out their streams if you haven't already, as well as other Mario 3 community streams. We got quite a few people playing Mario 3 at the moment. There's several people going for sub 51 times. There's several people going for, or there's a few people going for a world record in this category. Narfman's trying to do that, and we've also got some people, you know, trying to go for low times in the 100% category. So we've got people going for 110. Some people going for 111. We've got people going for 109. So yeah. And yeah, thanks to you know, RGL for putting this on, of course.
this I've got no Bob. Again. Oh yeah. And fun and